Welcome to Simon Chartier's New York Stories. I just got up. I just had my coffee and shaved. I can't believe I'm doing a New York Stories first thing in the morning, but I wait till I feel compelled to do it, and then I do it. So these stories are about my father. Now, my father was not perfect, okay? He had a lot of flaws. He had a lot of problems. He also was real misogynist and sexist guy, and he was very racist. And he had a lot of contradictions, you know what I mean? It's like he was racist, yet he hated Nazis and fascists, too. And, you know, he was also kind of a violent guy. There was a lot of violence in my family. But on the other hand, my motto in life is take what you need and leave the rest. So my father also had a side to him that was cool, you know, and I don't endorse the other sides of him. But I actually did learn some good things from my father. He loved to read. He loved books. He also loved music. Especially he loved opera and symphony music, and he loved like real early jazz, like Dixieland and Django Reinhardt and stuff. So that's a good thing about my dad. And the other good thing about him is that he was a completely fucking outrageous character that just did whatever the fuck he wanted. He didn't care about nobody. And that's a great thing. Like I told you, it's about the World's Fair and what he did over there. Oh my God. But here's two more stories like that, okay? And these are the good things I want to remember about my father. The first thing is he went to the opera, and there was my father memorized all the librettos of the opera, you know, because he could speak Italian also, besides Spanish and English and other languages. He spoke French and Portuguese too, right? So he was a linguist. So he's at the opera, and he's getting all, you know, charged up about the opera, and he's getting all excited about it, and he's kind of mouthing the words with the opera along and booing when the bag comes out. Some guy next to him turned to him and goes, "Shh!" And finally, after about 3 or 4 times, the guy goes, "Will you shut up, please? Be quiet." And my father just went across like this, like boom, and he fucking hit the guy. He fucking punched the guy out in the opera, and got thrown out of the opera. They threw him out. Nowadays they would have arrested him, but this is like the early 70s. They just threw him out, and he like drove home drunk or whatever from the opera. But I always love that story. We just overhand right pasted the fucking guy. I went to the opera a few years ago, and I remember where the seats were where we used to go, and I just thought of my dad, you know. The other story was my mom and my dad didn't get along at all, and my mom had her friends, and they used to like drink and smoke cigarettes, and you know, like schmooze or whatever. But my father hated my mom's friends, and he always said to my mom, "You only bring to my house the ugly ones. Why not do you bring the good-looking ones to here?" And he said, "If you bring again to my house this woman, I will expose myself." And the next night, my mom and this lady are back, and they're drinking. They used to drink like whiskey sours or something, and they're drinking and smoking. That's what they used to do. They sit at the table and drink and smoke. Everybody, you know, like they all, you know, I grew up like house full of booze and cigarette smoke, like constantly, always. That's, you know. So I'm in the kitchen, and I'm in high school. My father comes out from his bedroom naked, completely naked, except for a pair of socks and a pair of he had his glasses on, his socks, and nothing else, okay? Now, my dad was fat. He was very obese. He was like about 5'9", and he weighed like probably 320 to 350, something like that. He was fat. So he walks out naked, and he walks right by my mom and her friend. And I'll never forget the fucking look he gave them, this look of withering contempt. You look at them like... And he goes into the kitchen, and there's dead silence now. Before they were talking, oh, I couldn't get the cab driver. He didn't know where Lord & Taylor was. Oh, God, you can't get anywhere nowadays. You can't even get a taxi. And also, dead silence, right? He goes into the kitchen. He's there, and he looks at me like this, like... And then he makes himself a gin and tonic, gin and tonic water, the ice, the lime, and he just walks back into his fucking room. So, if you bring again to my house this woman, I will expose myself. And before he punched the guy out the opera, he says, I will hit you like a man, but you are not a man. But I guess he changed his mind because he went, pow! So, those are, I'm not into violence or anything, but I am into humor, and that's the thing about my dad. He was kind of an outrageous character. Like, he just didn't give a fuck, He was born in 1923, and he's from Cuba, so he just didn't give a shit, All right, kids, that's the 2 stories on my father. I like to remember those things about him and the good things about him and his love of music and his love of books. And the other thing that my father told me, which is really good, is fuck everybody. Don't give a fuck. Just do your thing, motherfucker. All right. Mwah.